Hi, I'm Jack from Elshed Studios. I am having a little look at the production for The Bullet Doesn't Care by Chaos Light.
The bullet doesn't care, the bullet doesn't care, smell the death all in the air. I could tell these bitches scared, they don't expect our weapons to step in and pepper them.
They've asked me to have a little look through all of the crazy stuff that I have done on this track and break down some of the interesting things that we did to get it sounding as hench as it ended up sounding. I'm wearing a few hats in the production of this track because I am recording guitars and bass and then doing the mix and master as well. A lot of the production choices have been made based on a few key factors, one of which is Andrew Scott, who's doing all the drums for it. For this song in particular, as you'll see, there is a lot of things happening. The track count for this has got up to 129 tracks, which is quite silly. Mainly because I am utilising two separate drum mixes, because there's quite a distinct vibe difference between the two major parts of this song. So first of all, I had this whole mix, which sounds pretty fat. The idea of this section was to keep it really tight sounding, really dry and super tubby, if I could get away with it, which leads to this contrast in the second section where you switch to the more like aggressive metally drum mix, which sounds really silly. Super over the top, which made me treat the two sections differently from a tonal point of view from guitars as well. So first of all, with bass, kept it pretty simple. In the first half of the song, I'm running into an Ampeg SVT plugin. Bass is covered in sort of weird artifacts and stuff because I've kind of treated the bass as if it were a sample. I did actually record a demo of bass for this section before Andrew tracked the drums. So when I got the drums back and the kick groove was slightly different, I could have re-recorded the bass, but I thought it might be kind of fun just to chop it up, drag notes around and rebuild the bass line using essentially the demoed bass, which ended up sounding really cool, especially with all the electronic drum elements and stuff. Yeah, kind of clean there, and then I went super weird on the guitar sounds here. I think there I'm using a multi-effect thing from Slate Digital, that Storch filter, which is doing obviously a tremolo thing. It's there's a bit of an envelope filtery thing as well. Just super weird because I don't want that guitar to sit super far forward. It's kind of sat behind everything. The only thing close to heavy guitars in that section are some chuggy rhythmy stuff, which is again sat really far back. Kind of scrappy and noisy, and I love it. Fuck it, sounds good to me. So what I really had here to work with was Chaos Light's got these sort of filtered out electric piano sounds. Which sounds really sick, so I'm backing that up with this. And then also messing around with some sort of stuttery weird effects. Which is just kind of fun. So if I mute the vocals and let you hear the instrumental in that section. One pivotal moment in the track is a huge shift in tonality, which I started messing around with and arguably could have ruined the song, but it ended up working kind of well. The way Chaos Light tracked the keys was in a minor key, but I heard a major modulation happening so I ended up going into Melodyne and like moving some of the notes around within the keys, which ended up sounding like this. It sounds really broken. So it's like, I think that's like leaning on like the suspended second chord there, but backed up with this. Allowed me to use guitars to really change the tonality of that section. So for example, so if I put those keys back in, the idea here, or the intent anyway, the song is quite angry, and this idea of adding like almost a little bit of melancholy back in is a really cool way to make the final section, when that hits, feel even more intense. That section itself being this insane breakdown. So the riff for that breakdown, I had a basic idea for it before drums were tracked, but it really came together once the drums were added in. Essentially the idea is it's the very initial bass line from the first section, just repurposed as a heavy breakdown. The bass guitar there is just doing it. So I thought, wouldn't that be fun if it came back with the sort of... But then it gets even stupider because I moved to a split coil thing and make the guitars even louder for the final repeat of the chorus. So yeah, I was well chuffed with that. The final element was working out then how the vocals are going to sit on top of all of that. The general aim was to try and get the vocals sitting really, really far forward. So distortion is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, and just carving space out of things. Like I've got all the synths and whatnot side chains so that they duck every time the vocals are on top of them. But we got really silly with some of the edits. Where do they go? Nope, not that one. So that final section, super aggressive.
It's time to fucking hot! I'll air this motherfucker right until it's bloody dust! Everything we do is just! It's time to fucking hot! You Artemis, I think it's time to spill the fucking guts! Everything we do is just! It's time to fucking hot! Air this motherfucker right until it's bloody dust! Everything we do is just!
Really intense. Filtered out, distorted, drenched in chorus in places. There's loads of different effects on different channels, and it's just dancing between all those different channels as it goes. So when that's sat on top of the breakdown, it sounds just especially minging. So yeah, the whole thing sounds quite unhinged in a class way, and it's just the beginning of the rest of the chaos that we're about to bring out. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, and apologies, Michael, for how long this edit's going to take you.
The bullet doesn't care, the bullet doesn't care, smell the death all in the air. I can tell these bitches scared, they don't expect our weapons to step in and pepper them.
Before we start this assault, we must accept the truth that this is all their fucking fault. I reject any guilt from the blood that has to spill. They took the first shot, time to give them all we got. Time to watch their bodies drop. I look them in the eyes when I watch their hearts stop. Blood is it for everyone, you don't have to enjoy it. So if that's you, then step aside, cause doing this is important. You have to force it with force, experiment to your final cortex. If I spill your brain, will I understand your process? Or maybe ink for the neck, do I have any regrets? None. Sequels are fun cause they can expand on what's been done. This shit's a long time coming, so there's no use in running. Do you wanna die sweaty? Come on, it's really unbecoming. Then still give me a clean shot, that's the grace I will give you. You played with us for centuries, you don't get to continue.
The bullet doesn't care, the bullet doesn't care. Smell the death all in the air. I can tell these bitches scared. They don't expect our weapons to step in and pepper them.
I get the rage out, I'm hungry for blood. We'll stop until the cage down. Begging, pleading for forgiveness, but we won't let up. I'll air this motherfucker out until it's bloody dust. It's time to fucking hunt, it's time to fucking hunt. I'll air this motherfucker out until it's bloody dust. Everything we do is just, it's time to fucking hunt. I'll air this motherfucker out until it's bloody dust. Everything we do is just, it's time to fucking hunt. I'll air this motherfucker out until it's bloody dust. Everything we do is just, it's time to fucking hunt. I'll air this motherfucker out until it's bloody dust. Everything we do is just, it's time to fucking hunt. I'll air this motherfucker out until it's bloody dust. Everything we do is just, it's time to fucking hunt. I'll air this motherfucker out until it's bloody dust. Everything we do is just, it's time to fucking hunt. You enemies, I think it's time to motherfucking gun. Everything we do is just, it's time to fucking hunt. I'm not come to bring peace, I was born to bring justice. We dream about the God is above us, not to feel pity for those who felt nothing but glee while building palaces out of the tears from their own treachery. Not while people still bring us bodies, not while their own corruptness, sending unknowing boys to their death. Not while the truth is a fire everyone sees but no one puts out. Not while there is evil that needs eating dead. The key to kill your words are like breath. I'll bring injustice to death, my descent into the depths.